Hi, it's Ron Malhotra here. Do you know if you take a fish and you put it in an aquarium, you can feed the fish, but if you keep it in a contained environment, you can actually restrict its growth. So if you take a fish and you see a fish that was born in an aquarium and has lived in an aquarium its whole life, you'll find that that fish will not grow to its full potential in many cases. Now you take a fish and you put it in a pond or a river or the ocean, and you'll find that in that environment, that fish is more likely to grow to its full potential. So the reason I share this is because a lot of people are in very safe environments. You know, they put themselves in safe environments because they want predictability. And the problem with predictability is that the more predictable your environment is, the less your growth is in many cases. Whereas if you go into an unpredictable environment, like in the case of a fish, if you're in a river or a pond or a sea, you're in an unpredictable environment. You've got more predators. You know, if you're a fish, you could be eaten by a shark, right? But the fact also is that despite the risks of being in an open environment, there is also more growth. So when we choose predictability, we're typically operating from a place of fear. And you know, sometimes we have a need for certainty because we have become so risk averse, and risk aversion comes from fear. And so what happens is when we put ourselves in highly predictable environments, we actually restrict our growth. And so that's why you'll find a lot of the times that people who are seeking job security, typically their mental or financial growth or spiritual growth, you know, it's not that great because they're working hard, but they're doing the same thing over and over again. And that's why I love the quote by Maslow. You know, Maslow was a scientist who did a lot of studies on human behavior. And he said that at any given point in time, we have two choices. We can either step forward into growth or we can step back into safety. And it always amazes me because it was very specific about what he said. He said you can either step forward into growth or step back into safety. He didn't say you can step forward into safety. And to me, that's a massive indication of the fact that when we become addicted to predictability, we massively restrict our growth.